Hi everyone, meteorologist Chad Evans here with a look at your daily weather forecast video, sponsored always by Trent Johnson State Farm. Trent is my agent.com. After a little snow this morning with dustings to a little more than 1 inch, spring's coming back. The sun is coming back out this afternoon, but we may get a couple isolated showers tomorrow morning to noon. I did add that to the forecast as a little clipper passes north of our area. A little warm front comes through tomorrow morning as well, followed by a nice spring-like afternoon for tomorrow. Nice spring weather Friday and especially into Saturday. Some scattered thunderstorms on Sunday. Then we get another frost and a freeze for one night. Then we go back to the warmth, some thunderstorms, and then we're back to another freeze before we warm up again. So a lot of ups and downs in this forecast over the next couple of weeks. Temperatures are in the upper 30s east, but upper 40s to 50 in the southwest. The skies clear from west and southwest to east and northeast over the forecast area as our clipper pulls away, and of course any precip, any snow or rain is pulling away, and we're getting rid of the clouds. And we've got setting the stage for several days of pretty nice weather around here. We get a taste of this incredible heat to the west. These are record highs that occurred over the past 24 hours. Tremendous heat in the west. These numbers are like the caliber that we saw in June of 2021 in the west, when Portland, Oregon, for example, had 108. I mean, we're going to be beating records out here for March by 20 degrees in places. That's the magnitude here. And that's similar magnitude to what we had in March of 2012 when we had, 87 degrees in mid to late March. Again, all-time monthly records being set in the west. Meanwhile, this morning we had the record cold in the southeast, damaging to the peaches, the blueberries, other crops that are in bloom and leafing out right now. I mean, it was 30 at Gainesville, Florida. We had 20s down to near the Gulf Coast, but that is long gone now. And now we're going to see little bits of this heat impacting us. Here's the teases of the western heat. So this is Saturday, and you see temperatures here early afternoon, already 75 to 80 degrees. But look at this, we've got 90s in Nebraska. We're going to be in the lower 100s in Texas. And Phoenix, Arizona, they have only hit 100 once in March since the 1890s. And they're likely going to have about 5 consecutive days at least where they hit 100, and they're probably going to peak around 107 degrees right there. We'll have the 80s up to Boise, 80s into Salt Lake. Denver could be approaching 90, believe it or not, and even 80s up to Cheyenne, Wyoming. So just historic upper ridge in heat right in this zone, and you can see a little bit of that tries to come in, even mid 80s and central Iowa and upper 80s in western Iowa. So we've got a little warmth that's going to feel good come not only tomorrow, but Friday and Saturday, and some warmth into Sunday. The problem is we have so much deep snowpack on the order of anywhere from 4 to 6 feet up here in Wisconsin and the northern Great Lakes. Historic blizzard just hit Wisconsin. So we've got ice on the lakes, deep snow here. This is going to try to counteract heat trying to come northward. So like I said yesterday, anytime we get a little front through and the wind just barely switches to the north, well, this cold over this snowpack is heavy and it's dense, and it behaves like thick pancake syrup, and just you can't hardly stop it going south. So this is what's going to bring us a colder Monday and some freezing fog and some frost and freezing, that is, come Monday night, Tuesday morning, because over the snowpack, if some cooler air starts to come in, the cold and ice enhance the cold, and it wants to go south. Meanwhile, this extreme March heat wants to go northeastward. So a little bit of a battle here between the two. We're going to go back and forth a little bit between surges of 80 and a random night at, temps in the 20s. So here are a few little spotty showers, isolated showers. We went for 25% coverage tomorrow morning to about noon right here with cloudiness around, and then we'll see decreasing cloudiness after that. We'll get a little clipper coming through here, a little warm front comes through, and then barely a front tries to skim through tomorrow evening, and then it's all warm Friday, Saturday, and even in a part of Sunday. But Sunday afternoon, this front goes through with some scattered thunderstorms possible during that time. That front pushes away, then it cools down, but then it warms up later next week. And look what happens at the end of next week. Similar situation. Another front comes through. Some thunderstorms come through our area as well. And then it gets colder again. And then March 30th through April 2nd, we start to heat back up again, and it gets active. We've got multiple rounds of showers and thunderstorms that come through the area. This is going to be an active area for showers and thunderstorms. Into early April, very hot and dry down here, lingering cold up here, and this zone will be active for heavier rain and severe weather. Now this is looking towards the weekend, so this is like Saturday into early Sunday. A little pocket we see here via analog data from St. Louis University. Perhaps marginal to slight risk in northern Illinois, eastern Iowa. And then we may see a situation like this on Sunday where we see kind of a marginal to slight risk scenario for part of our area and perhaps down into the Ohio Valley back to Oklahoma. We'll watch that, at least a band of some scattered thunderstorms that may bring about marginal risk to our area for wind and hail on Sunday as the front goes through. But we look ahead, again, this is into early April, hot, dry, big upper ridge here, above normal temperatures here, cooler in this area, and there's that above normal rainfall for that time frame from Texas all the way to Michigan and Ontario with a blocking ridge in the southeast. So the front sitting here and wobbling back and forth, you're going to have multiple rounds of rain and storms and more warmth than cold. The cold's going to be bottled up kind of up this way, and here's your severe weather risk cranking out off and on from the plains all the way to our forecast area. And again, the SIPS analog out of St. Louis University does show that Ohio, Michigan to Texas corridor for severe weather getting into early April. So today, we're pretty nice. You know, we're warming up. We'll be in the low 40s northeast, the low 50s in the southwest, pushing 50 in Greater Lafayette, followed by a 64-degree high tomorrow. 30s in the morning, and then we get a couple isolated showers around with the clouds, and then decreasing clouds and a late-day rally to 64 for a high, and the winds cranking up from the east, turning to the southeast, and then the south-southeast. 56 Rochester to 67 at Cayuga, 66 Pine Village, 62 at Flora. Friday's a nice one, sunshine, patchy high clouds and mid-level clouds, but a windy, warm 74 for the high after 44 in the morning, 69 Rochester, 72 at Flora and Camden, mid-70s Pine Village, upper 70s at Cayuga and Covington, and 74 degrees at Remington. 78 on Saturday, we'll take it. 70 then falling after some scattered thunderstorms part of Sunday. Colder Monday, that went from the north. Some patchy freezing fog and a 29 Tuesday morning, but then we warm back up to 71 Wednesday. We're in the 70s to 80 on Thursday. This should read Thursday. Friday, we're back in the 50s, and then some more freezing weather that Saturday before we bounce back once again. And it starts to get more active with thunderstorms as we end March and go right into the first week of April.